Hello everyone, and welcome to another book review. This time I am going to be reviewing Magonia by Dahvana Headley. Just forgetting her middle name. And it is on here, so I wanted to say it. So, Magonia. This is honestly the first book that I've read since I started doing these book reviews that I didn't think I was going to review. And the reason for that was I didn't want to review a book that I had absolutely nothing nice to say about. And that sounds bad. And honestly, about halfway through the book, that was where I was. I was just like, this book is... It started out setting up what could have been a very interesting story. But then everything changes so quickly that the reader kind of ends up confused, and the reader feels like they have absolutely no idea where the book is going. 'Cause I certainly didn't. It's a book about a girl who is very sick. She has been sick since she was a baby, and her parents have been, taking her into hospitals and trying to make her better, and it doesn't work. And eventually there is an episode where it just looks like she isn't going to get better. But before this happens, she's also been seeing things that she swears are real, and only her best friend listens to her. And it turns out that she is actually a member of a different world called Magonia. And you feel like you're lost at that point in the book. At least I did. I felt like the entire story had derailed, but the train was still moving. It just wasn't going anywhere I expected it to. And then I read the last 100 pages or so of the book, and it's not a long book. It's about 300 pages long. And it brought it back around, so I decided I would review this book. The book does save itself in a way, in my opinion, of course. Not everyone's going to agree with me. The book saves itself. It decides that, it decides to go back down the path that I really thought that it was going down in the first place. There are some just very out there aspects of it. I would call this book fantasy. Like straight up. It's a fantasy novel. And I don't read a lot of fantasy novels, so that might be part of the issue for me, is that, just don't read a lot of them. But Asa, the main character, is a girl that starts out extremely relatable to a lot of people. She's not popular. She's kind of an outcast in school. She only has a couple of close friends. She has the sister that loves her but is annoyed by her because she's always sick. She seems to have she's very sick, but other than that, a fairly relatable life, even to people who don't spend a lot of time ill. And then all of that's taken away. But I think that might have maybe have been what the author was going for. I, of course, cannot speak for the author, but maybe she was trying to convey the confusion felt by Asa when she was going through all these new experiences. And if that was what she was trying to do, then she did that very well, and that's why I decided I was going to review this book. Because I think that might have been where the author was going. She wanted you to feel confused. She still wanted you to be in Asa's shoes, even though you cannot possibly go to Magonia. It is a mystical city in the clouds. As far as I know, we don't have any of those on this planet. Overall, I'd give this book probably a 6 out of 10. Because it did lose me in the middle. It took a lot of just perseverance for me to keep reading it. It's a fantasy novel. It's a young adult novel. So if you are interested in that, definitely go for it. There is some romance to it, but it's not a forefront, like it's not a front part of the book. The romance thing is kind of on the back burner the entire time, which I much prefer in books because that's kind of how it is in life. Sorry. The enemy in this book, the antagonist, is not who you would expect originally, and that's something that, you know, can be, I guess, good about the book. You know, the classic villain does get old after a while. So there are a lot of surprises in Magonia. If you are up for a lot of surprises, a lot of turns you weren't expecting, a little bit of confusion before you get all of your answers, I would definitely suggest reading it. If that's not your thing, or if you're not into fantasy, like really into it, and it is written in the young adult style, so if you don't like that style, I wouldn't recommend this book. But if that sounds like your cup of tea, hey, go check it out. What's the worst that can happen? And that's going to do it for this book review. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.